Sounds good.
Hey,
All right.
thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day and coming on to talk to me for today.
Yeah, of course.
Why don't you start by telling me a little bit about yourself and your role at Zibtek?
Yeah, my name's Jake. I am a project manager here at Zibtek. So I do everything from being a scrum master for some projects to mapping out high level roadmaps and making sure that all our teams are hitting our sprint goals.
That's awesome. So today we're going to talk about your article about your shift left strategy and how it increases quality assurance. Why don't you start by telling us what exactly does it mean by shift left?
Yeah, it's super confusing when you just look at the title. So to really grasp why it's shifting left, you kind of have to look at the project linearly. So on the left-hand side, you'll have the beginning of the project. And on the right-hand side, you'll have the end of the project. Now, traditionally, the end of the project, after the software has been completely developed, is when they'll enter a testing phase where they test every aspect of all the software they created. That typically creates a giant bottleneck because what ends up happening is all of these people will go test things and things will break, and then they need to go back months in development to identify what broke and how to fix it, and also what's connected to it. So rather than do that, what we like to do is apply the agile principle to it by taking that test and then doing it incrementally throughout the duration of the project. So rather than have it at the end on the right-hand side, we shift it left and sprinkle it throughout every phase of the project.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So when you're shifting left, how does that improve your quality assurance?
Yeah, so when you do something in a sprint and you get the whole project broken down into tiny little pieces, little testable pieces, what we're able to do is we're able to test, identify any bugs or problems, and then quash them right there. We're able to get that corrected so that the next sprint, when we pick up something that piggybacks off of the framework we've been making, it's constantly being fixed all along the way.
Okay.
So that by the end, we had just had minimal testing and it's mostly just functionality.
That's awesome.
Functionality.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really a great way for your team to do things. Let me know, are there any, explain to me the benefits of, if I was the customer, what are the benefits to me as the customer? Because I know that it sounds like it's something that really helps your team in its organization and I'm not having to go back, but what about the customer? How would that benefit me?
Right. And honestly, from the customer's perspective, there's always the question of why are we spending so much time on this and not building?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to by identifying those problems early on, if we were to ever have anything that pushes the deadline ahead, which is inevitable in software,
Yeah.
because we've tested all along the way, that deadline might not shift very much, if at all. However, if we wait till the very end, that deadline gets extended, sometimes months, depending on how much rework needs to be done, which equals thousands upon thousands of dollars. So when you take a look at it from the customer's perspective, you just got to think, wow, well, it's the best bang for the buck just to stretch it out a little bit and test all along the way.
Excuse me. Yeah, it sounds like that really would save the customer a lot of money just by moving that to the left and testing as you go. So that's awesome. Awesome. All right. Is there any final words on Zibtek as a company and what makes them stand out in the software development team?
Honestly, the shift left, a lot of people do the shift left strategy. It is trending. But something that I've noticed with working with this company is just how they do it. Rather than having a dedicated QA person involved that's going to do all the testing and let the engineers focus on engineering, we put a high emphasis on every engineer doing their own QA and really checking their own code. Not only does this make sure that the engineers are just a lot tighter in their engineering, but they're gaining a lot more context on what they're building. And then every team members ends up contributing to the QA. So we've had immense success with just meeting deadlines and getting things out fast and efficiently, just by focusing on that.
That's awesome. It really sounds like, I'm sorry. It really sounds like the shift left approach really benefits not only you guys as a team, but the customers as well.
Oh yeah, it's the way of the future.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time on this shift left strategy. And for those who are watching or listening, if you want to get in touch with us, you can comment below and we will walk you through a strategy session. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Ramsey.